But again, coming up at the top of the hour, it's time for men's basketball. NC State and Colgate get together. Our buddy Corey Alexander now joins us from Raleigh, NC. Corey, there we are. How we doing, buddy?
I'm doing well, my man. How you doing? Long time no talk.
I know. I can't complain, but I probably can a little bit. Let's get into NC State first. Last year, Final Four, unbelievable run. This year, a whole different set of circumstances, different teams for everybody. This is going to be another interesting test for NC State tonight, a Colgate team that at times when they make shots like anybody else can cause problems. But what have you seen from NC State so far?
Well, what I've seen from NC State so far is Kevin Keatts has a very versatile team. Is going back to playing the style of play that Kevin Keatts brought to Raleigh when he left UNC Wilmington. So you're going to see a more up-tempo team, a lot more pressure defensively. For 17 turnovers against Coastal Carolina the last time out. And I believe we're going to see more of the old Kevin Keatts style with this year's group.
Okay, so that's coming up next here on ACC Network at the top of the hour. Corey, one of the things I'm going to get into, and I don't mean to wave the flag here, but I am a little bit. We have talked nonstop in the offseason about scheduling and winning games in November and December, which has been a bugaboo, according to the committee, for this conference. Of course, the ACC gets to March, starts kicking everybody's rear end, but more teams getting in the tournament is a priority. The first 2 weeks of this season in men's basketball has been, let's be honest, it's been choppy at best versus teams with a pulse. Your take on the first 2 weeks of the season for teams not named Duke or Carolina?
Well, I would agree with you with being choppy at best, but one of the things where, I think you and I have talked about in prior pack is I believe these games are weighted too heavily. When you consider the fact that the ACC prepares its teams for March better than any other conference in the country, the teams in November aren't the same teams in March. And that's the concern of mine is these games are weighted so heavily early in the year where this conference continues to make its teams better through the 20-game schedule. That's the reason why in March, the ACC is always representing 25% of the Sweet 16. The second weekend of March, in my opinion, is what determines who the best conference in the country is, not November. And I think that's really the biggest issue what we had so far.
I was going to mention, it feels like a humongous week. And whether you think November's important or not, for the conference to make a statement. We got 4 ACC, SEC matchups coming up on Thursday and Friday and heading into the weekend. Of course, obviously, Duke and Arizona is another great game on a Friday night. It feels like it's kind of time for some ACC teams to step up and start winning some of these games.
I believe so, Pac, and I believe that it's the time for the ACC to win some of these games, but it's not all gloom and doom if they don't. The reason you schedule these games, of course, is to try to build that resume. And it doesn't mean that I'm not saying that the games in November and December don't matter because they absolutely do. I believe they're weighted too heavily, but I think these teams are going to get better. But the considering factor is you're going to have to play these games in order to be able to get the committee's attention. And with that being the case, you've got to win some of these games. We talked about the matchup with Virginia and Tennessee. You think about Pittsburgh, who, in my opinion, is probably going to be the sleeper team in the ACC this year. I believe they could vault to the top with Duke and North Carolina as well. So when you look at it, it is a very important week. I agree with you wholeheartedly. And the ACC does need to go get some of these wins because they're going to be weighed heavier than they should be at the tournament time.
Yeah, I'm not worried about Duke and Carolina, but I am curious to see between the Wake Forest, the Clemsons, the Pitts, the Syracuse, the Miamis, that cluster of teams needs to impress the judges in November and December.
Agreed wholeheartedly. And when you look at Wake Forest got a big win on a neutral floor against Michigan last weekend. And then you think about going to Xavier losing. Clemson goes to Boise State and loses. But these are good teams, and these are true road games. And so when you're thinking about actually challenging yourself in the schedule, I give these teams and these programs a lot of credit for doing that. Because there are a lot of schools that aren't going to take a true road game going to a place where you can get beat, especially this early in the season, unless it's Kansas where North Carolina goes, unless it's Arizona where Duke is going to go. So I give the ACC a lot of credit for playing these games. And I agree with you, Pac. At some point, you have to start winning some of these games.
No doubt. Well, listen, we're about ready to turn the lights out. We look forward to watching you coming up top of the hour. We got plenty of time to talk more hoops down the road. But again, have a great broadcast tonight.
Sounds good, my man. Good talking with you.
You got it, Corey. Take care. There's our man, Corey Alexander, coming up top of the hour. NC State and Colgate right here on ACC Network. Take a quick break here in a moment. We got one more segment to go. Your phone calls as well. Of course, you got Colgate, the Raiders, and the Wolfpack getting after each other. Should be a good one. That's all coming up right here on ACC Network. The hour, Colgate, NC State. There's Ben Middlebrook, senior leader for the Pack. Currently second on the team in blocks. And again, this Colgate team, you better be careful, Colgate, man. Don't be sleeping on these dudes. Just saying, they played Syracuse earlier this year, caused a problem. And here's the transfer of Brandon Huntley-Hatfield, key transfer for the Pack, currently averaging over 12 points a game for Kevin Keats' club. Of course, that's coming up, top of the hour, less than 13 minutes away, NC State and Colgate.
Welcome to Monday Night Basketball on the ACC Network. We're at Lenovo Center in Raleigh tonight. Third meeting all time. First meeting in 3 years for the Raiders of Colgate, one of the preseason favorites in the Patriot League. And they meet the Wolfpack of NC State. Of course, the defending ACC champs who are already 3-0. With Corey Alexander, West Durham, great to have you with us. Kevin Keats knows a little bit about his team. Going to find out certainly more tonight, Corey. One thing he does know after 3 games, he's got a lot of guys who could score the basketball.
He feels as this is the most versatile team he's had here since he's been at NC State. And he's going to rely on a number of different guys to make plays and, of course, get buckets throughout this season.
Well, and Jaden Taylor right now is his leading scorer, better than 16 a game. But you see 5 guys at 9.5 or more for the Wolfpack. We'll keep an eye on that tonight. They have had 8 different guys add double figures in these first 3 games. And tonight, they face a Patriot League favorite in the Colgate Raiders, who were 16-2 and won 25 games a year ago. And Jalen Cox has taken advantage of his role now.
Jalen Cox averaged about 4 points per game last year as a freshman. He has stepped up big time, a career high 21 for him the last time out against Syracuse, which of course was a 1-possession game against another ACC foe on the road.
Yep. So the Raiders and Wolfpack, Kellen Milliner puts the ball in the air, and NC State will get the first possession of the game. And of course, Michael O'Connor, who is such a cog in their marvelous run in March, leads them offensively from the guard spot. And a turnover right away for the Wolfpack, and Dontrez Styles on the bounce pass to Huntley-Hatfield.
But immediately you see the full court pressure by NC State, a signature of Kevin Keats when he took over here in Raleigh.
And Matt Langle's concern against this tonight is at a premium. Can his team take care of the basketball? And they are very good at that, at least here early in the season. They've only had 23 turnovers in 3 games.
And only 11 in the last 2 games combined against high-level competition.
There's Woodward, their veteran big man. Second try, no good. Third try, tapped away. Taylor to Carroll. O'Connell had it batted away. And that was Nicholas Louis-Jacques who pushed it into the Colgate bench. And here's a look at the Wolfpack lineup. O'Connell, we told you. Jaden Taylor, their leading scorer. Marcus Hill, talented transfer from Bowling Green. Dontrez Styles in from Georgetown. Huntley-Hatfield, the Louisville transfer. And Taylor missing badly from 3. And here is Cox.
That's not an encouraging sign, considering the Wolfpack were 0 of 10 from 3 last time out against Coastal Carolina. I'm sure that's something that Kevin Keats definitely doesn't want to talk to his team much about it, but you don't see Jaden Taylor miss like that.
Yep. Brady Cummins, by the way, in transition. Colgate took the missed shot, went running, and gets an early 2-0 lead here in Raleigh. Huntley-Hatfield keeping it alive. They're set for the long 2. Too strong. Styles the backside chance, and then taken away by Cox.
Dontrez Styles had an opportunity, could have just went to work on the post right there, chose to throw it out, ends up turning it over. And the second time, Colgate has pushed the tempo. Cox picking up the foul.
Foul is on Marcus Hill. It'll be his first. First on NC State. Corey, Colgate running tempo here early. Playing a little bit out of character, I guess.
They absolutely are that, but more importantly, they have more energy right now than the Wolfpack do. I mean, it's only a minute and a half in, but you can see Colgate getting their hands on a number of basketballs and deflections, and the beautiful backdoor cut, just unable to execute it.
Well, the one thing we know about Matt Langle in his 14th season, They run good stuff, as they say in the business, right?
They absolutely do. Coach Langle, who has been to the NCAA tournament the last 5 times it was available for the Raiders. Of course, no tournament 2020.
There goes Hill on the score, averaging 10 a game, coming in from Bowling Green, where he was first team All-MAC a year ago.
And that's going to be his strength, getting to the cup, putting pressure on opposing defenses, collapsing the paint.
Cummins again. Couldn't attack against Taylor. Spot up jump shot, and Parker Jones knocks down the jump shot.
And Parker Jones very comfortable getting to the mid-range, shooting over the contesting hand of Huntley Hatfield on that possession. You can see where the Raiders want to be able to attack, getting downhill, seeing if they can get the Wolfpack to be able to spread out on the perimeter.
4-2 lead for Colgate. Hill a little fall away, too strong. Woodward boxed out Huntley Hatfield. Here's Cox on the run. Louis Jock tees a 3. And the rebound for Styles. Wolfpack trying to find an edge here early. In transition, Taylor fights through, had it knocked away. Parker Jones with the Wolfpack turnover.
Kevin Keats, of course, wants to be the team that's the aggressive, forcing turnovers. But right now, it's been Colgate who's done a better job defensively with the takeaway.
3 turnovers on NC State here early. Woodward backing down on Styles. And then thrown away to Taylor. Turned over by Colgate. Their second. Remember we said they only average about 7.5 a game. Hill, high dribble, jump shot. And here's one and done. Colgate in transition again.
I'm not sure that's the shot Kevin Keats wanted from his team. Again, he wants to play fast, but he wants it to be good shots that your teammates are creating for you in comparison to one-on-one opportunities. Cummins
for Woodward. Here's Jalen Cox for 2 and scores. First basket for Cox. 12th best scorer in the Patriot League in the early portion of the season, and the lead is 4 now for Colgate.
And once again, Colgate looking very comfortable getting to the mid-range and taking their opportunities.
Taylor trying to win inside on the dribble, draws the foul. That'll be against Louis Jock. It'll be his first. The senior from Miami draws the first on the Raiders. And Corey, Colgate's kind of directing the tempo of the game early.
No, neither team has hit a 3. However, Jalen Cox with the pull-up. That has been the key for success so far for the Raiders.
Well, we told you the preseason favorite in the Patriot League. The Raiders are no joke here, Corey. This is a good game for any team to play at the P4 level.
And Kevin Keats made it very clear to us he wanted to play a very good mid-major program. When you consider the fact that this team has been to 5 straight NCAA tournaments, you're talking about the premier program in the Patriot League as to right now. But of course, as with everyone else, they've had some key losses, especially to the portal over the last season.
Yeah, Braden Smith's at Gonzaga. Keegan Records, of course. He finished his eligibility at Ryan Moffitt. Now, as we mentioned, Cox has been the biggest beneficiary of Smith moving on. And Records' departure frees Woodward, who had been a starter, to stay involved in but maybe pick up more scoring, certainly more opportunities inside. And you see the Wolfpack defense bother Colgate on the inbounds pass. That's already 3 turnovers now for Colgate, as you saw the 1 of 2 line shooting of Jaden Taylor.
And I want Coach Langell to know I have nothing to do with that, for the record. You got me in trouble at shoot-around today.
How's that?
Because when I said you guys don't turn the ball over,
no.
You made sure to point that out.
No, I said that. Yeah, you did say it. And he looked and said, during the timeout, I will look at you. 2 to shoot for Huntley Hatfield. Fall away. Got it. Brandon Huntley Hatfield's averaging 12.5 points and 5 rebounds here through his first 3 games with NC State.
And those numbers very similar to what he averaged at Louisville over the last 2 seasons for the Cards. So Brandon Huntley Hatfield brings a world of experience and ACC experience to the Wolfpack lineup.
Here's Cox on the drive. Out of the corner, Cummins. And the rebound for Styles. O'Connell picked up by Parker Jones.
Interesting talking with Coach Keats earlier today about O'Connell's role. Now he's more so the leader, especially offensively, getting guys involved, where they played a lot through DJ Burns last year. Now you see them playing through Brandon Huntley Hatfield in the post.
Yep. A couple of field goals in a row now for Huntley Hatfield. Cox trying to force the issue. Inside Woodward, a kick out. Swing it to the top for Jones's three. And Huntley Hatfield the rebound. Breon Pass, whose offense has picked up considerably. There's O'Connell, little runner. Michael O'Connell on the board, and it's a 7-0 NC State run.
And I believe Michael O'Connell has to be more aggressive for NC State this season, looking for his opportunities more. They were a better team when he was scoring last year, especially in the ACC tournament, of course, moving into the NCAA tournament.
Yeah. There is an interesting, there's a three by Jones, and the rebound will go out of bounds. I guess the question I would ask you is this. O'Connell and DJ Horn found harmony last year, right?
Yes.
O'Connell is the lead guard now, but we just saw Breon Pass, who stays in the ballgame, by the way, with some substitutions coming in for both schools. Is O'Connell more comfortable at the two?
I believe O'Connell is more comfortable at the one with the ball in his hands on offense. But when you've got a guy like Breon Pass, you've got Marcus Hill, those are the guys who put the pressure on the opposing point guards on the other end of the floor. I think they're better on-ball defenders than what you're going to see from O'Connell. So O'Connell most likely will be the point on offense, but he won't be on the defensive end of the floor.
Here is O'Connell again on cue. Left it short. Ben Middlebrooks cleans up the rebound and scores.
And that's what he does. Yeah. Ben Middlebrooks has been awesome on the offensive glass since making the move from Clemson to NC State. Was a huge part of their run at the end of the season last year coming off the bench.
Chandler Baker, a senior from Woodstock, Georgia, has come on the floor for Colgate. Here's Middlebrooks. He'll feed Parker. Dennis Parker missed the dunk. And a foul on the play against Colgate. And it's going to be on. It's on Jeffrey Woodward, I believe.
And I believe what we saw right there from Ben Middlebrooks is exactly what Kevin Keats wants to see from him. Up in passing lanes, denying opportunities at the top of the key, not allowing offenses to run. So many different teams run a Princeton-style offense where they play through their five-man at the top of the key, looking for back cuts, etc. But what NC State likes to do is deny that opportunity. Middlebrooks, Huntley Hatfield taking away that, so offenses often can't run their offense against them.
First free throws of the year for Dennis Parker Jr. out of Richmond, Virginia. One of two is Parker.
I like to refer to him as Lil DP.
I hear you.
Because his pops is DP.
Oh, is that right?
Yes,
okay.
That's my guy. We used to play pickup together all the time.
Who won those?
Well, we normally, first off, my man DP was a great screen setter.
Sure.
And,
you know, for you, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't need much.
Missed shot by Wright. Wolfpack again and trying to create some early opportunity. Colgate got back defensively in time.
Dennis Parker just getting healthy once again. Had a little bit of an ankle issue early in the year. Slowed down his progress. But you see Kevin Keats trusting him early, getting back on the floor.
Here's Cox into the corner. Chandler Baker catch and shoot three. Middlebrooks another one and done. Clears the glass. Oh, nice hesitation. Middlebrooks. He'll spin, go to the basket. And inside the rebound and stick back for Marcus Hill.
Marcus Hill getting involved in the action, not just standing on the perimeter, waiting for things to happen, going and making things happen. One of the smaller guys on the floor, but getting in the mix, coming up with the offensive rebound. The putback for Hill, and that's an opportunity for the and one.
Marcus Hill, senior transfer, Rockford, Illinois. A year ago at Bowling Green, averaged 21 points a game, shot 44% from the floor. And the three-point trip is good. He's now got 5, and the run now for the Wolfpack has gotten to 13 in a row here to take a 9-point lead.
But with Hill and Pass both on the floor, you should see the defensive intensity pick up significantly from the Wolfpack.
Colgate scoreless the last 4 minutes. Parker Jones threw it away. Here's Pass with the turnover. Breon to the basket and scores. Oh, he kind of double clutched it, Corey, at the rack.
He absolutely did that, but you see the Wolfpack in the passing lanes, and now look at Pass hounding the ball handler, making everything difficult for Colgate on the offensive end of the floor.
Blake Forrest is handling the rock. Here's Cummins. Now 3-ball from out on the perimeter by Jones. And NC State can continue the run. It's 15-0 in the last 4 minutes to build this 11-point lead. Parker on the drive. Marcus Hill again in traffic scores.
I tell you what, Marcus Hill is playing much larger than his stature. That's the second time we've seen him get in the paint and finish amongst the trees. But it's been the Wolfpack defense that's got them out to a great run here. The reserves coming off the bench. Breon Pass getting in the passing lane. And, of course, the beautiful finish, switching from right to left and getting the bucket in transition.
Well, you see the score at the bottom of the screen. You see the details of how this game is pivoted to the left because Colgate was dictating tempo in the first 3 minutes, Corey.
They absolutely were. Got out to a 6-2 lead at the first media timeout, and then Kevin Keats went to the bench, and the bench brought the energy. Since then, 3 turnovers for Colgate, and the Wolfpack, of course, have been on a 17-0 run since.
Sam Wright trying to work to the block. Ben Middlebrooks the foul for the Wolfpack. His first, second on NC State. And there's a look at 52-year-old Kevin Keats, now in season 8. 142 wins, 214 in his career. That includes, of course, his terrific work at UNC Wilmington, where he went 72 and 28, went to postseason 3 times.
And playing this style of basketball, where now he has a bunch of bodies who can be very active on the defensive end. Look at the defensive rotation on that possession.
Middlebrooks. Set up by the nice pressure on the perimeter.
Absolutely. Guys getting out, covering the three-point line, running shooters off the line.
Parker Jr. 3. And it bounced away. Marcus Hill will chase it in the corner. Tried to make the save, but stepped out of bounds, said Bert Smith. So it will go over to the Raiders. Corey, walk us through this because it's the perimeter pressure, right, that sets up the block?
Watch as the ball changes sides of the floor. Look at the energy and the effort defensively by the guys in white. Dennis Parker Jr. getting out, running. Offensive player off the three-point line, forcing him right into the shot blocker in Middlebrook.
Yeah. Here's Jalen Cox. Colgate's got 3 field goals. All 2-point goals and a travel on Woodward will give it back. That's turnover number 6 in this first half on Colgate.
And a team that comes in averaging only 7.7 per game. They've only had a combined 11 turnovers in their last 2 games at Drexel and at Syracuse. And speaking of at, this Colgate team will not play a home game until December the 4th. So a war tour for real.
Yeah. Here's O'Connell. Tried to dump it to Huntley Hatfield. Couldn't hang on to it. So the Wolfpack turnover. And now Blake Forrest out front to run the offense for Matt Langle. Cox. Forrest and a quick shot from the left side by Louis Jacques. Bounds away.
And now you can see with the starters back on the floor, well, 4 starters back on the floor, they're moving around similar to the way we saw the guys that came off the bench and had that push for the Wolfpack.
Hill turns it over. Here goes Cox, and he'll draw the foul. That's Marcus Hill's second. First player in the game with 2. Third team foul with 9:52 to play in the opening frame, and that'll bring Jaden Taylor back.
I'll tell you what, you can't fault the effort of Hill, though. He has been all over the place. Offensive rebounding, defending, getting in passing lanes, doing everything Kevin Keats has asked of him. And Colgate right now scoreless in their last 6 minutes and 20 seconds of game action.
Louis Jacques left it short. O'Connell hounded by Forrest, but here's Taylor. Tried to dump it into Huntley Hatfield. Eventually got there. Here's a return bounce pass. Brandon got caught in the air, got bailed out with 7 to shoot. Here's Hurd. Bryce sets up the long 2. And Woodward the rebound for Colgate. A little chaotic possession, quite frankly, in the half court.
We look for Cox to be a little more aggressive on the offensive end. A nice penetration.
Louis Jacques stops the drought.
But it was the penetration by Cox and then the skip pass, which allowed Louis Jacques to be able to get to his sweet spot. That mid-range has been the calling card for Colgate thus far. 3 of their 4 field goals coming from the mid-range.
Under 9 to go in this first half. Colgate 4 of 16 from the floor after the make there a moment ago. Taylor and the Wolfpack shooting at 47%. Styles with 5 to shoot. Looks for the jumper. And the rebound pulled away by Baker. Cox skips for Forrest against Jaden Taylor. Now Woodward with a path to the basket and will score with the left hand. Jeff Woodward, fifth-year senior, Audubon, Pennsylvania. Second best field goal shooter in the Patriot League through the early portion of the season.
And Woodward 3 years ago had 14 points against the Wolfpack in this building. So whenever you've had a big game against the opposing team, you look forward to the next time you get a chance to see it.
There's Cox trying for the turnover, and he touched it last, battling with Jaden Taylor, and that'll get us to a timeout. But just under 8 to go first half in Raleigh. NC State by 9 on Colgate. Back here in Raleigh, Corey, this is something that when you start to study NC State, look at this here. 7 different leading scores in the last 7 years for the Wolfpack. I don't know that we could find this. I'm sure we could if we asked the right people. I don't know how many schools can say this.
But then you would look at the fact that, you know, at least 4, maybe 5 on that list were transfers.
Yeah.
It goes back to Allard Freeman, who came in under Kevin Keats and led the team in scoring after transferring in from Baylor.
Yeah. Breon Pass, 4th 3 of the year for him.
I love Breon Pass getting more opportunities this year. I think it's a young man who's been in the program, has put the work in, and has found some trust in Kevin Keats to become a big part of that rotation thus far.
And you can see the ascent maybe of what he can be offensively. I think his defense has always been kind of there. Now he's got Cox to defend, who pulls up for the 17-footer, and boy, Styles gets it. Wolfpack lead is 12. Dontrez in transition.
Confident 3-ball, the first 3-point field goal made in the last 2 games for the Wolfpack, but very confident from Dontrez Styles pulling up from top of the key.
Almost thrown away. Recovered at distance by Kyle Carlissimo. And Jaden Taylor got a hand in the passing lane.
That's textbook WD, though. Well, like I say, when you're trying to recover back to your man, coaches tell you all the time, get your hands up. You might just walk your way into a deflection right there. Textbook by Jaden Taylor, just getting his hands up.
Right.
Ends up disrupting the pass.
10 to shoot for the Raiders. Huntley Hatfield dispense. Woodward, now Cox to work. 2 to shoot for Woodward. In trouble. Shot clock violation.
Give the crowd credit on that one. They were about 3 seconds behind the count.
Yeah.
When the shot clock said 3, they were saying 6.
Yeah.
They gave Woodward an opportunity to make sure he got into his bag, yet he did not have quite enough time. So,
and Woodward started thinking the crowd was steering him the right way, and there's an offensive foul on Huntley Hatfield. Brandon, a little movement on the screen. Point of emphasis again this year in officiating.
Have to give opposing player an opportunity to get around the screen. You have to be set well before this contact.
NC State stays with a little pressure in the backcourt. Taylor defending Jalen Cox. Coming up on 6 minutes to go. Cox finds a path, had it blocked. O'Connell hit the deck. Look at Taylor fight for it. Cox to recovery. Here's Carlissimo. This is the jumper from in front. Now here's Breon Pass. Styles, hard dribbling shot. Colgate is really forcing issue. And Jalen Cox just went down, and the layup for Taylor at the other end on the turnover. And is this an ankle? First basket for Jaden Taylor from the floor. He's got 3. And I think Jalen Cox
will see Cox pushing it down the floor. And then right there, that right ankle just rolling it. But we saw it live action. He immediately grabbed at his knee first. So thankful that it's the ankle, and now you see him able to stand up and walk off on his own power. So great to see that.
Leslie Cowan is the director of sports medicine for Colgate and handles men's basketball, and she helps Jalen Cox off the floor here.
But when you come in and you've got your starting point guard, who is your leading scorer, primary ball handler, et cetera, against a team that turns you over the way that NC State does, it's a recipe for disaster to see Cox having to go sit down. Hopefully we see him back in this game, but if not, that puts a lot of pressure on the backups to be able to handle the intensity that NC State throws at you defensively.
So the Wolfpack, who went on a 17-0 run to open up a 13-point lead now. The lead was 19-6. It's now blossomed to 17, 27-10. Julian Scott wears 0, and he is checked into the lineup. He's a 6'2" sophomore from Rochester, Minnesota. That's Nicholas Louis-Jacques knocking down the 3, his 5th of the year, and he's got 5 points now to lead Colgate in scoring.
And the first 3-point field goal made by Colgate. So both these teams now cracking the column on the 3-point field goal attempt.
Huntley Hatfield trying to find a path against Woodward does with the soft hook.
And you see Huntley Hatfield with the ability to make plays from the top of the key. Kevin Keats told us that once they start to play bigger teams and get into conference play, there's a possibility we see Huntley Hatfield and Middlebrooks on the floor at the same time. Of course, we saw Huntley Hatfield playing the 4 position a couple of seasons ago at Louisville. Now you see him get out into the passing lane, unable to come up with the steal.
10 to shoot, and the ball that got knocked away into the backcourt. Louis-Jacques again for 3. Styles the rebound. Look at O'Connell. Feed the post, kick out for Taylor. Got it.
That is great basketball. Brandon Huntley Hatfield running the floor, but as soon as he caught the basketball, immediately delivering it to the corner. And the second 3-point field goal made for the Wolfpack.
The drink got stirred by O'Connell, though.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And again, you know, Coach Keys told us he knows where to find people. He knows how to get his guys in the right spots, allowing his teammates to be successful.
Taylor on the rebound. Wolfpack in transition. Lead for Huntley Hatfield. Left it short. And Brandon battling for the loose ball. Lee Cassell says it will defer to Bert Smith, and it will go to Colgate. Another look at O'Connell here.
But you see, Huntley Hatfield never even looks at the rim. He knows that he has a shooter and Taylor in the corner, and immediately delivers a strike as Jay Taylor is able to knock down the 3 ball from the corner. His first of the game.
Corey, if they play that kind of transition basketball, they're going to be a handful.
Well, and that's the way they want to play. They want to be able to get back up and down the floor. Kevin Keys made it very clear that the way that they're playing, it's not feasible for any one player to play 30 minutes. He's going to need 10 guys to be able to go out there and play 20 minutes. Now, some will get more, but he needs everyone picking up 94 feet, putting pressure on defensively, and turn that defense into offense on the other end.
Tell you what, I've been impressed in the first half with just the variance of the player. I mean, Dennis Parker's playing tonight. We're not going to see Trey Parker tonight. We won't see the young man from Canada, Ismail Doof, who played briefly the other night against Coastal Carolina either. Here's Middlebrooks. But we're seeing just about everybody else. There's Ben inside. Nice move. Second field goal for Middlebrooks.
And the staff talked about just the improvement of Ben Middlebrooks and his confidence since he's been here at NC State. And now you see him becoming more of a guy that you can throw the basketball to on the post. Of course, we know he has 3-point ability as well.
Sophomore Scott trying to find a path. Can't. And last touch by Middlebrooks. Bert Smith going to give it to Colgate. NC State's got a 21-point lead. Now they've added a 15-3 run to this first half. We'll continue from Raleigh in a moment. Don't forget, we got a full slate of ACC football, Corey, this Saturday. I know you'll be in the Islands. UConn at Syracuse starts our coverage at noon. That would be noon Eastern. That would be 5 a.m. Hawaii time?
Hawaii is 5 hours
okay,
behind.
7 a.m.
Yes.
And then Charleston Southern and Florida State available on ACCNX at 1:30. And the big game, the 127th edition of Stanford Cal at 3:30 on ACC Network. There's a backcourt turnover by the Wolfpack and a bucket for Brady Cummings. Virginia Tech and Duke, by the way, close our coverage out on ACC Network and on the ESPN app at 8 o'clock Eastern time. That would be 3 Hawaii Standard Time.
Okay.
Pull-up jumper by pass, no good. After the second field goal of the night by Brady Cummings for Colgate. NC State a 19-point lead. Another scoop by Cummings and the miss. Here come the Wolfpack. 3-on-3 with pass. O'Connell. Here's the dump down inside from Middlebrooks. being defended now by Cameron Brennan, a first-year player from Ontario, and now Louis Jacques has gone down.
Yeah, Ben Middlebrooks going down, running right into the knee of Louis Jacques. And again, Colgate already playing right now without their starting point guard.
Yeah.
And Cox.
They can't afford for Nicholas Louis Jacques to go down, I can tell you that. Here's Middlebrooks now, first of two.
Good to see. Ooh. Yeah, Louis Jacques fortunate on that one.
Man.
Glad to see him okay,
yes,
walking
sir.
off. I'm not sure if that's the time to take him out, though. You don't want him to get over there and get stiff.
Start thinking about it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
6 for Middlebrooks, hit both free throws. Wolfpack lead back to 21, and Corey, 8 players have already scratched for Kevin Keats in the scoring column.
And again, remember, we're playing without 2 guys who are going to be in the rotation for Kevin Keats. So this is what he wants. He wants to see 10 guys out there or more playing 94 feet defensively. Look at Jaden Taylor. I'll be honest with you. Taylor didn't defend like this last year.
Right.
But again, he sees his teammates doing it, and he knows he has to do this, pressure the basketball just like this to be successful with this year's team.
Draws his first foul. It's the 5th on State. Yeah, we're not seeing Mike James tonight, and we're not going to see Trey Parker, the talented freshman from Fayetteville, North Carolina. So after the foul on Taylor, Brennan helps with the inbounds. Here's Julian Scott, sophomore guard, who's going to see some more minutes if Cox can't return tonight. Cummins had it knocked away. Look out, they're coming our way. Hustle play by Hurd ends up in Brennan's hands, and Cameron Brennan's first field goal of the year. Played 3 scoreless minutes against Syracuse last Tuesday night in a 2-point loss at the JMA Wireless Dome. Middlebrooks. Now O'Connell. Right back for Big Ben. The catch and the score.
Nice finish from Middlebrooks. The left-handed touch, but once again, O'Connell taking care of his teammate, getting the basketball in the right spot.
Under 2 to go in the first half. Middlebrooks has got 8. Wolfpack league is to 21 again. Here's Cummins, their leading scorer. Nice drive off the wing.
Cummins done a great job attacking the basket that time. The sea parted for him. The easy layup. I'm sure Kevin Keats doesn't like to see that, but give Cummins a lot of credit, putting his head down, getting to the rim.
Nice job. O'Connell directs the offense here with we've got Bryce Hurd on the floor, young freshman we've seen here in this first half from Chicago. Taylor hesitates in traffic, lost it. Middlebrooks couldn't finish the layup. And Ben going to be whistled for his second foul. That'll be 6 on NC State.
Don't do my man JT like that. That was a pass. He dropped that off. That's why he was so upset that Middlebrooks didn't finish that one. He already saw Brandon Huntley-Hatfield miss a layup, which should have been an assist. Watch this.
Wait.
Watch. Drop. Dying. Boom.
Are
That's
you sure?
a pass. I'm positive. Watch the reaction of Jaden at half court afterwards and see how disappointed he is that Ben didn't finish that off. That was an assist.
By the way, Hall of Fame statistician John Madry agrees with you.
Yeah,
so you're right. I'm wrong.
There you go.
Here's Forrest. Through traffic, out of the corner, triple away and good. And the second field goal of the night for California's sophomore Parker Jones.
But you see the Raiders are having success when they can crack the paint, when they can get downhill, creating opportunities, whether it's a layup or a kick out for a 3. That's where they've been able to have some success against this NC State defense.
And Brennan fouls Huntley-Hatfield on the way to the basket with under a minute to go. So Cameron Brennan's drawn his second. Woodward has 1. So that's the big guys for Matt Langle's team. And Huntley-Hatfield to the line on the second foul against Brennan with just above 43 seconds to go in this first half. Free throw by Huntley-Hatfield is good. 7 in the first half for Brandon. 91 games in 3 years for Huntley-Hatfield. Of course, he was the number 3 prospect in the class of 2022, Corey.
High expectations for him going to Tennessee.
Yep.
Didn't work out well with him there with Rick Barnes, of course, transferring over to Louisville where he spent the last 2 years and now finishing his career in Raleigh, where Kevin Keats is relying heavily on him, and you see his ability to be able to get out and deny opportunities, forcing the turnover.
Hurd went back to the basket, couldn't finish it. Now we get a whistle and a foul. I believe Lee Cassell has called a foul, and he has from over in front of the Colgate bench. But they just
look at Brandon Huntley Hatfield coming up.
Oh, just called out of bounds is what was happening.
Getting his hand on that basketball in transition. Forgive me, on the underneath out of bounds play, not allowing.
Long miss by Taylor. Final half minute here of this first half.
I'm not sure Breon Pass is going to allow for us just to dribble this clock out.
Nope. Pass had that reputation defensively already. He's just added to it.
Defensive back, right?
Wide receiver.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Big time prospect.
That means he can catch.
Oh, yeah.
Most wide receivers that can't catch a defensive back.
Long three, missed badly. Now pulled away at the horn. A ball from three-quarter court hit the glass for Dennis Parker Jr. And that will be that for the opening 20 minutes. So the Wolfpack put 2 runs together, Corey, to create this 18-point advantage at the break.
They used their pressure defense very, very well, turning over Colgate, turning that defense into points on the offensive end of the floor, and they've been able to knock down some timely threes in this first half, something we didn't see from them on Wednesday.
18-point lead for the Pack. Justin Walters, Seth Greenberg coming up. Halftime next on ACC Network. Monday night, ACC basketball. We're on ACC Network tonight in Raleigh at Lenovo Center, and NC State leads Colgate 40-22 here at halftime. Great to be back courtside with Corey Alexander. Wester, appreciate you dialing us up. The Wolfpack, we thought, would want to get after Colgate from a pressure standpoint defensively. They did, and that's why they got the lead at the break.
Colgate won the first 4 minutes.
That's it.
And then after that, it was all packed. When you consider the fact that they were in the passing lanes, they were doing a tremendous job defensively and turning that defense into offense, turning Colgate over 11 times in the first half. That's the same number of combined turnovers they've had in the last 2 games on the road coming into this one. Breon Pass turning it into a bucket on one end of the floor. Then Jay Taylor getting involved in the mix. Ben Middlebrooks with the block shot, and then great ball movement from the Pack. O'Connell to Hadley Hunfield, who finds Jay Taylor in the corner, knocking down a 3-ball. And when you look at what the Wolfpack have been able to do thus far in this first half, this goes right into what Kevin Keatts wants to see from his team.
See 11 points off the 11 forced turnovers. Jalen Cox, unfortunately, hurt for Colgate in the first half. Their leading scorer. NC State shot 48% from the floor. They came into the game shooting 53 from the floor. Knocked down a couple of threes. Wolfpack hit 3 and 7 tries. Won the glass, Corey. +5 turnover. Matt Langle may have a few bigger issues to Colgate to sort out. But if I'm Kevin Keatts, I'm pretty pleased with the first 20.
I'm pretty pleased with with the last 16.
Okay.
I believe the first 4, Kevin Keatts didn't like the way that his team approached the game. I thought Colgate had more energy to start the game. But when Kevin Keatts went to the bench, they brought the energy. And I believe the group that came off the bench, the reserve, showed the starters the way that you have to play to be successful here. And I believe it was a carryover when the starters got back on the floor.
NC State went on 2 runs in the first half. 17-0 and 15-3. That's 32-3. It kind of puts into perspective what the first 4 minutes of the game were like.
That absolutely is the case. It was a 6-2 game at the first media timeout. And then after that, the Wolfpack exploded. And when you consider the way that they were able to get it done, contesting every pass, contesting every shot, making life difficult for Colgate on the offensive end of the floor.
So NC State got 8 from Middlebrooks, 7 from Hill, 8 from Huntley Hatfield, 6 from Taylor for Kevin Keatts' squad, 6 from Brady Cummins leads Colgate. And Jalen Cox has got his right shoe off and is at the end of the Colgate bench wearing sweatpants. We'll see if he tries to go with this here in the second half. The shoe is off and he's hobbling around, so I would say no. So Woodward and Cox are both out, Corey, here for the remainder of the ball game for Colgate.
So the 2 leading scorers coming in for Colgate won't be able to participate in the second half.
Yeah. Woodward had a big bandage around a knee And so Sam Wright starts at the post, 6'9" sophomore from Hoover, Alabama. Shot clock at 2. Scoop shot is good for Nicholas Louis-Jacques. He's got 7.
Happy to see Louis-Jacques back on the floor after what could have been a devastating injury for him with his knee getting run into by Middlebrooks. And he looks healthy and looks poised to have a big second half without 2 of their stars.
Yep, they're going to need Louis-Jacques and a little more. And a foul off the ball is going to be ticketed to Sam Wright, who we just mentioned. There is Jalen Cox. And you see he's got the right ankle all taped up, sitting next to trainer and the director of sports medicine, Lisa Cowan. Sam Wright's first on Colgate here in the second half. Huntley Hatfield fighting for a spot inside. Can't finish the scoop.
That's one he's going to want back. Did all that work to get a nice, easy look.
Yep.
Just unable to finish it with the left hand.
Louis-Jacques, a shot fake on Hill. And in some ways, Matt Langle's got an opportunity for young guys maybe to earn a few more minutes in the ledger.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that they've had. This is an inexperienced team for Colgate this year, which has had so much success as of late. Coach Langle talked to us about the fact that now he's got to have his assistant coaches coaching guys a lot more than he's had to do in the past because they knew the culture before.
Stiles couldn't finish. Huntley Hatfield does. Brandon with 10 on his 4th field goal.
Brandon fitting in very well here with the Wolfpack, understanding that offensive rebounding is a huge key to success, especially from what we saw from the Wolfpack to end the season last year.
Parker Jones at distance. And here is Louis-Jacques. Working on O'Connell, lost the dribble. Here's Marcus Hill igniting the Wolfpack transition. And he scores.
And Marcus Hill only had one thing in mind when he came up with that basketball. It was to get a bucket. It was not going to be denied getting to the rim.
Marcus Hill shot 29% from 3 a year ago and was first team All-MAC. And then the terminology that I read about him in the offseason was he can score the ball. Well, he scores the ball going to the basket. He's not interested in standing out around the line here.
Yeah, right now the three-point shot isn't his strength, but you can see his ability to be able to attack the basket, getting downhill, getting to the rim. Now, the 6'4" senior, I don't know about that. I believe that might be a typo.
Yeah. Foul was against Jaden Taylor. It's his second. It's the first on the Wolfpack in the half.
And for those who aren't aware, the senior part is not the concern.
No.
It's the 6'4".
The 6'4" part.
I don't think that Marcus Hill is 6'4".
No. Second free throw good from Cummins. He's got 8. Why do you want to talk about guys' height?
I mean, again.
Why? Why do you want to talk about a guy's height?
I know Michael O'Connell's my height. And Michael O'Connell's taller than Marcus Hill.
Not sure about that.
You're not sure?
Not sure about that. Here's a 3 ball from Taylor. Back rim miss. Of course, again, I was wrong in the first half. I said Jaden Taylor had a shot, and it was actually a pass.
Wes, look at them beside each other right now.
I'm not doing that. Not getting into this. We got a long season ahead of us. Here's Cummins on a spin, blocked by Stiles. O'Connell going to turn and burn here. Here's Marcus Hill. Driving inside. Nice kick out for Taylor. 3 ball away. Partially blocked. Perfect place for Hill to catch and draw the foul.
Now, I made this comment in the first half, and I will say it again. Marcus Hill plays much larger than his stature. We see him getting to it on the offensive end as we see Dontrell Stiles doing a great job defensively coming up with the block shot.
Right.
But Hill comes up with another offensive rebound. Now, WD.
Yeah.
From our vantage point, look right now. Look at Michael O'Connell. Look at Hill. Who's taller?
Hang on a second. Hill's at the line.
You not want to admit this?
Hill's first one is good.
Okay, look.
Right,
Here we go. They dap each other up. Who's taller? O'Connell's taller.
I'm not sure about that. That angle right there, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. O'Connell's closer in the picture. He's going to look taller. Second one good. Marcus Hill's got 11 now.
Marcus Hill is a ball player. You can see
he
that.
is.
But he's not 6'4".
Well, that part I'm not. The question is Michael O'Connell. If he's taller than Marcus Hill, we're going to have a talk with Craig Hamill, the outstanding communications director for Wolfpack basketball here at NC State. And there's a miss and a follow by Sam Wright, his 4th field goal of the year for the undersized 5 from Hoover, Alabama. NC State continues to lead by 18. Corey continues to measure O'Connell and Hill. Marcus Hill promptly on the drive.
Continues to play big. He continues to play big. There's no question about it. So now look at them standing beside each other.
Oh, see, here we go. Look what I've done. I have done this, and I apologize.
I want to thank our camera crew for the many different shots that they have placed Marcus Hill and Michael O'Connell side by side, to where you can clearly see that Michael O'Connell is the taller between the two of them.
Okay.
And O'Connell is listed at what?
O'Connell is 6'2". Marcus Hill, the free throw.
Yeah.
By the way, our camera crew under the direction tonight of Josh Monk. As you see Ben Middlebrooks, who is clearly 6'10", check back into the ball.
Agreed.
And Brandon Huntley Hatfield is out. I am intrigued, and again, I forward think a little bit on some of this, Corey, as Hill hits both. I'm curious, Marcus Hill and Michael O'Connell, when they get to conference play, that's a dangerous commodity.
I believe so. And then you think Breon Pass coming off the bench.
Who's in the game now, by the way.
And what he's been able to do defensively and what he can bring. And, of course,
whoa. Parker Jones got it returned. Then Middlebrooks, the rejection.
And Middlebrooks has done a great job sliding his feet. And that's one of the things that Kevin Keats loves about he and Brandon Huntley Hatfield. They have 2-5 guys who can get out and move their feet. If they need to switch defensively, they can do so. But more importantly, deny opportunities at the rim.
3 ball from the corner. Louis Jacques no good. Styles the rebound. And front court, here's Breon Pass. And Hill. It's a foul on Styles. And again, the moving screen will send us to a timeout. First on Styles. Second on NC State. Kevin Keats. Is Michael O'Connell actually taller than Marcus Hill? Kevin doesn't have an opinion right now. He's more concerned about the moving screen. Back after this. 48-28, and of course NC State, now the defending ACC champions, at Cinderella run in D.C. last year. And then the South Region Championship. And what a moment it was here, Corey, for the home opener. Not just the tournament banner, but the Final Four banner. And kudos to Boo Cargan and the athletic staff here who updated the Final Four banners in this building from 1950, 1974, 83 in Albuquerque, and of course last year in Phoenix, Arizona.
Amazing run. We got a chance to be a part of that, calling the first win in the ACC tournament against Louisville.
Yeah, the first of the 5 scoops.
Yeah, where they won 5 straight games.
Yeah, that was a crazy event.
Oh, my goodness.
Yep. Shot fake. And Cummins on a bounce pass. And back into the ball again, Cameron Brennan, who got 2 quick fouls in the first half. And Parker Jones and Dennis Parker Jr. challenging at the basket. And here's a quick look. Now remember, they finished 10th in the ACC. And by the way, of note, trailed at halftime in the first game to Louisville. And came back to win it. Foul, by the way, on Jones a moment ago.
What was the moment of the run, though? If you go back and you look at the entire run, what was the moment of
O'Connell's shot.
O'Connell's shot against Virginia.
Absolutely.
To send it to overtime.
Yep. And as I like to say, some teams go to the NCAA tournament with house money. There's a turn, nice shot, Middlebrooks. He's got double figures now.
And he looks so comfortable on the block.
10 for 10 on his 4th field goal.
Yeah, if you're not going to bring a double team, he's looking to get a bucket. They're very decisive in taking his man to the rim.
Yeah. And that ball lost on the dribble out of bounds. By the way, Bryce Hurd's going to check back in here, the freshman from Chicago for the Wolfpack. Here's what I mean by house money. NC State won the ACC tournament. Nobody said that could be done. Everybody, well, there's no chance they'll do that. They won't beat Duke. They won't beat Virginia. Won't beat Carolina. Did all that. They went to the NCAA tournament basically with house money. And they were one of 2 ACC teams, I thought, that played looser in the NCAA tournament than they did at any point in the regular season.
I believe they did, and you had a number of guys who were playing to the end of their eligibility when you consider Casey Morcell, DJ Burns, DJ Horn. And so guys went out and played as though it was the last opportunity that they were going to get, and they continued to get more and more by playing that way.
And here's the thing for Kevin Keats and Levi Watkins and the guys on that staff, Kareem Richardson over there, Brett Nelson, who's now joined them this year, Steve Snell. The benefit of that run, there is enough left from that run that it can pay dividends in my mind to what this team can do now.
I agree wholeheartedly, but there's also that run allowed them to get guys like a Brandon Huntley Hatfield. Like, you know, for guys to want to come in and be a part of this, and you've got the guys left over that saw that may not have had much of a role in it. When you consider Dennis Parker Jr., you think Breon Pass, but those guys now want to have that same type of success.
Agree with you. Marcus Hill on the drive, 8.5, 15 in the game now for Hill. I've been really impressed seeing him live for the first time.
Yes, he has been. Well, I like the way he's getting in the middle and mixing it up. Offensive rebounding, driving it to the basket, making plays on the defensive end of the floor. He fits perfectly into what Kevin Keats wants to be here in Raleigh.
Lead 24 now for the Wolfpack. And now Brennan's running into Middlebrooks, who can defend at 20 feet, and there's a foul on Hurd. That'll be the first on the freshman from Chicago.
And we also have to mention, we said in the first half, we got to say it again, no Mike James, no Trey Parker. You've got a number of guys who will be big contributors to this program. Who aren't even, not even in action tonight, but both those guys can really bring it on both ends of the floor. So this team is only going to get better as the season goes along.
That ball got knocked away, and we got a foul in the process. I think they got, is that on Jaden Taylor? By the way, that's Mike James, and then Trey Parker, and then to the right of Parker on your screen, that's Ishmael Doof, young man from Canada who played for the first time the other night against Coastal Carolina and scored a couple points. Free throw by Brennan, no good.
But you think that this team right now can put pressure on you defensively?
Oh boy.
Think about when you get Mike James in the line. Who can really play anywhere from 2 to 4 and be versatile, switching, can get after defensively.
Pass now, his third field goal. He's got 7. And a foul on Scott. Julian Scott, the sophomore, that's his first. 15 foul on Colgate. Cummins comes out of the lineup. Parker Jones back in. Chandler Baker has returned. Also Kyle Carlesimo. He's guarding Jalen Taylor there for the Raiders of Colgate.
Now I know Kyle is kin to PJ. How is he kin?
Nephew, I think.
Nephew?
Yep. And missed layup by Middlebrooks, but a foul on Brennan. Cameron Brennan, hard luck tonight. He's got 3 fouls. I don't think he's played 3 minutes in this game.
But Ben Middlebrooks has been so comfortable when he catches the basketball in the post, recognizing there's no double team coming. That time the nice spin, unable to get it to go. But doing a great job in his matchups one-on-one when he gets his opportunities in the post.
Now you know who Ben Middlebrooks' uncle is.
No, school me on this.
Danny Cannell.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So there you go. So Danny typically watches Ben's games. So Danny, if you're watching, hello. Corey and I extend our best to you. Hope you're well.
Yes.
Down in South Florida tonight. DK, good dude, man. Enjoy talking football with him.
Well, he's a good one to talk football with.
Yep. Here is Carlesimo with 12:40 to play. Set up by Baker for 3. Nice.
And Breon Pass going for the steal on that one. Once he doesn't get his out of position, allows the easy 3. That's one you want to go for the steal. You want to be aggressive, but keep a hand in the passing lane. So if you don't get it, you're still in position to defend.
Chandler Baker off 575 out of Atlanta and Woodstock, Georgia with the triple.
Okay. 575?
Yeah, it's the highway you take to get to Woodstock. Here's Hurd into the corner, catch and shoot 3. Bounds away for Taylor. And we're 8 minutes into this second half, and a collision in the backcourt with Brennan and Dennis Parker Jr. in a basket for Baker.
Back-to-back buckets for Baker after knocking down the 3.
Yeah, he's got 5 now. Lead still 23 for the Wolfpack, with subs waiting at the table in Styles and Marcus Hill. On the drive and a whistle and foul. Kellen Milliner will whistle the foul on Kyle Carlesimo, and that'll be his first. 7 on Colgate. 1-1 when we come back to Raleigh. NC State trying to get to 4-0 tonight. Well, Marcus Hill was first team All-Mid-American a year ago, playing for the Falcons of Bowling Green. Well, he swapped the bird for the Wolfpack. I'll tell you what, he has been a fighter at the rack tonight. He has played inside and tough inside.
He absolutely has done that, doing it on both ends of the floor and turning his defense into offense, not to be denied when he gets a full head of steam out in transition.
Front end of the 1-1 is good for Jaden Taylor. He's got 7 now in the ball game. Second one is good for Taylor. You better handle that. 11:39 to go, and Kyle Carlesimo will put the ball in play.
And Kyle Carlesimo just got the call.
Yeah, you just got the call.
I got the call from the man,
PJ.
And Kyle Carlesimo,
PJ's son.
Is PJ's son.
So we
not
really,
his nephew.
We really screwed that.
Well, no. When you say
we, that'd be me. I said I thought.
Shout out to my guy PJ.
PJ, sorry, coach. Middlebrooks in transition, layup good. Foul on the Raiders. And Ben Middlebrooks with his 5th field goal tonight's got 14.
And Ben Middlebrooks has been spectacular in this game. Kevin Keats wasn't his happiest with Ben Middlebrooks after missing a couple threes last time out against Coastal Carolina. Wasn't in the normal attack mode that he's used to seeing Ben Middlebrooks. Middlebrooks has been back to fashion here tonight. 15 points for him now. Getting it done on both ends of the floor.
Third foul on Louis Jacques. Wolfpack with the pressure. By the way, we're getting our first look now. Paul McNeil wears jersey number 2 for the Wolfpack. 6'5" freshman from Rockingham, North Carolina. Terrific offensive player coming into this Wolfpack program. Here's Louis Jacques going baseline. Ball away out of the corner, bounds away, and saved by Louis Jacques, and out of bounds. It will belong to the Wolfpack. And Huntley Hatfield reports, and he'll get Middlebrooks his spot. Excited to see Paul McNeil, Corey, averaging about 5 minutes a game so far. Top 50 recruit, nearly 2,500 points. He broke a 73-year record for career points in the state of North Carolina. He had 71 in a game last year against Lee County. 71.
That's a lot of buckets, WD.
71 is a big number. And there is McNeil.
McNeil's got to get the grasp of the defensive aspect as to what Kevin Keats wants to see here at NC State, but offensively he can fill it up.
Lead's gone to 30.
You know, once you get to this level, it's about more than what you can do. It's what you can do to help your team win games.
Yep, bounce pass there, got an assisted McNeil for Styles' shot. Meanwhile, without Woodward and now Jalen Cox unavailable for the rest of the night. Colgate really short-handed, so Julian Scott, the sophomore, on the drive there. Scott played in 11 games a year ago. There's the drive by Hill. He couldn't finish.
I'm rooting for 13 now. Get it back.
Yeah.
Get it back to my guy, Kyle. There we go.
His set and shoot.
That's what I'm talking about,
Buried
Kyle.
the 3. Yep.
It's my guy now.
Second 3 of the year for Kyle Carlesimo.
I knew he was kin to PJ. I just didn't know how. But now that that's his son,
yeah,
that's my guy.
You've knocked it down, and all of a sudden he's on Corey's list.
Well, Coach Langell told us earlier today.
My guy.
He said that he grew up in a basketball household.
I knew he was related to PJ. I just wasn't sure.
And
and credit to Kyle, and none of the documentation at Colgate said it. So here's Julian Scott.
Kyle's got another one.
Yep,
that's what
catch
I'm talking
and
about.
Shoot. Nope.
Heat check. I still like it.
Yeah. Over the inline and saved. Nicely done. Chandler Baker inside. Here goes Wright with the move. Couldn't finish. Huntley Hatfield controls it. Here's Brandon making the move. That's an offensive foul. They'll block the call. Sam Wright, the 6'9" sophomore.
Difficult to pick up a charge in today's game simply because you have to have established both feet and pretty much be waiting there for an offensive player to run you over, and you can see still moving there. Great call by our officiating crew, for which we haven't talked about much tonight.
Yeah, Kellen Milner's Lee Cassell, Bert Smith working here tonight. And the first for Huntley. Hatfield spins away.
I didn't get my normal conversation with Bert Smith pregame where I told him, tell your family not to watch this game because I'm going to destroy you on air. But I was doing an interview with Mark Packer, so I didn't get a chance to tell Bert that today.
Jump shot, bounds away.
Of course, he's a great official, so I don't really get to do it. But I want to.
Yeah. You got two Final Four officials on here. Lee Cassell and Bert Smith. There's the drive and bucket. Louis Jacques, another basket. Nicholas has now got 9 in the game on his 4th field goal. And ahead of 8 minutes to play now. There's McNeil going to work. O'Connell. Styles. And a whistle off the ball. Offensive foul on the Wolfpack.
Lee Cassell on the call. Lee Cassell probably worked out for like 6 hours pregame today.
Huntley Hatfield second. Fifth on the Wolfpack.
He did. I mean, my guy's a workout warrior, man. We get off the plane. I'm going to take a nap. You know what I do. Lee Cassell's going to get a 6-hour workout in before he comes out here and runs 10 miles in a game.
Yeah. 3 ball by Wright. And the carom to Styles. Huntley Hatfield call for it. And a reset at the top here. There's the block. Brandon the catch, right hand soft hook, no good. I'm really interested to see the numbers a year ago at Louisville for Huntley Hatfield. He averaged against the league now 15 and 8.
He got better as the season went along last year.
Yeah.
Seemed to get more and more comfortable the longer he was on the floor, and starting to get comfortable here in Raleigh. But they're going to absolutely need him to be successful this year.
He had 8 double-doubles a year ago. He had 12 games with 10 or more rebounds. That number might be as critical as the points. Back after this. Don't forget ACC football all day long on Saturday with a high noon start. And then Saturday night, ACC Huddle After Dark, Corey. You can wear sunglasses like that, too, if you need to for ACC Huddle After Dark. It caps the whole day. They'll also be there at 2 and also at 6:30 ahead of the Blue Devils and Hokies from the fabled Horseshoe on the West Campus at Duke on Saturday night.
I feel like those shades after dark could be dangerous, especially being that it's dark at 5:30 p.m.
Here's Marcus Hill on the drive. Knocked away. Chandler Baker. Kick for Kyle Carlesimo. And whistling a foul on the deck. By the way, to pay off, we've got a lot of folks helping us out tonight, which is very important. I mean, we got like Meg Campbell's helped us. She's done a great job tonight getting us information related to the game. Mark Kestisher has let us know of ESPN radio fame.
My guy Kesty.
Kesty's a terrific human being, one of my favorites.
As my
There's
guy Kyle
knocks
gets
it
another
down.
bucket.
Kyle's got now 5 in this ball game on his 2nd field goal. Kyle's got a brother, Casey, who's a freshman football player at San Diego.
Strong family ties there.
Yeah. So Kyle playing ball at Colgate, started at Eastern Illinois. Casey's playing at San Diego for the Toreros, by the way. And there's Styles with the basket. He's got 6 tonight, or 7 rather, on his 3rd field goal.
And Father PJ in his old stomping grounds in San Antonio, Texas, where he and Kesty will have OKC San Antonio tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
ESPN Radio.
They're watching the game together? That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They're waiting on us to finish so they can go together.
See?
I was about to say.
Wait a minute, listen. One thing I can tell you Kyle Carlesimo knows about
dinner
is dinner. Because when I tell you that PJ Carlesimo
knows dinner,
I know he knows dinner. The dinner king of the world.
Let me just say this. I've never had dinner with Coach. I just know he knows how to major in dinner.
Let me tell you this. When our partner, Jim Boeheim,
Yeah, who also knows how to do dinner.
He learned it from PJ. And again, he calls PJ for the spot. Where do you go when you're here? He knows where to go to. PJ is the guy when it comes to dinner.
Wow. Well, here's Brady Cummins at the line for 1-and-1. Nope.
But here's the thing, right? Because there's, of course, a reward for the crowd when you miss 2.
That's right.
Does it carry over?
Not on the 1-and-1.
So it has to be on a 2-shot foul.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, not the 1-and-1 stuff.
All right. Just checking.
Yeah.
Do you know what the going rate is for 2 missed free throws now here? Lenovo. It's no longer PNC now.
No,
Lenovo.
Lenovo software computer company. Yeah, based here in Research Triangle Park, by the way. Here's Huntley Hatfield at the line.
But you didn't answer my question. Is it a burger? Is it chicken?
I'm not quite sure what the reward item is. Chick-fil-A sandwich, I'm being told. Chicken sandwich.
Okay.
So we'll be on the lookout for that here at the 5:46 mark. Huntley Hatfield. See right there, my man.
He already got his, though. Wasn't waiting on 2 missed free throws.
That is correct. Yes, he did. Huntley Hatfield now with 11 tonight, Corey, and 4 rebounds. Dontrez Styles is 7 and 10 tonight for the Wolfpack.
We definitely need Dontrez to get 3 more points.
Parker Jones slides down the lane. Little flyer by Clark. That is Stevie Clark. 6'6" first-year player from Amarillo, Wisconsin. And there's an and 1.
And Marcus Hill still getting at it, getting to the rim, finishing through contact. An opportunity for a 3-point play as he has been in attack mode all evening long. The nice rebound by Dontrez Styles, getting them out in transition as Hill is able to get to the rim and finish once again. Through contact, an opportunity for an and 1.
Foul was on Forrest. Blake his first. And here's Marcus Hill. Free throw bounds away. His first miss in 6 trips. Lead is 28 for NC State. Catch and shoot 3 from the right side, and cord it is for Parker Jones. He's got 8 now. 3rd field goal tonight for Jones. He's from Southern California. Averaged 4 points, 3 rebounds. He's doubled those numbers here through the early part of this season.
You asked Coach Langell about his recruiting footprint earlier today.
Everywhere.
He said everywhere. Of course, Colgate, a great academic institution.
Yep.
So, it's not the easiest place to get into.
Wow. Breon pass. Almost goaltended the shot by Cameron Brennan.
Listen, one thing we both know about Breon, he is athletic. No question about that. You're talking about a young man who received multiple high major scholarship offers to be a wide receiver. Chose to play basketball here at NC State and is now what should be a staple in this rotation for Kevin Keats, especially what he does defensively.
Foul on Middlebrooks, his 3rd.
This is what you were excited about. Look at the bunnies. Get up, Breon. He hit his hand on the rim. He might have blocked that shot. It looks like he hit his hand on the rim. He does. He might have got to that one, WD. See, again, you notice Breon, he can do it, but he doesn't do it often because, you know where the rim is.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
Sure.
He doesn't, he's not going to block as many shots. All right, now we have opportunity.
It's 1-1. Still.
Never mind.
They're just cheering for the miss, and Brennan obliges. But the offensive rebound for Parker Jones. Brennan's first free throws of the year, by the way. 3 ball from Jones, and Hill inside. Here's Dennis Parker Jr. Pass for Middlebrooks.
Now you see them trying to help, bringing the double team because Middlebrooks has been that effective. So now you bring the double team, which normally would create an opportunity for one of his teammates.
Baseline goes Hill. Had it knocked away by Jones, I believe. Blake Forrest in transition. He'll feed Stevie Clark, layup good. 2nd field goal of the year for Clark, his first tonight.
The Colgate's played with pace when they've had their opportunities, especially off of turnovers, doing a great job getting out in transition.
Just can't lose the 2 guys they lost.
Yeah,
tonight.
I mean, it was difficult trying to play the second half without those 2 guys. Both of them really getting injured about 10 minutes or so into the game.
Here is Parker, blocked by Brennan. And now Cummins. He'll skip it across and move it quickly right side. Clark, the lefty three. Wow, look at Forrest go cry.
That's right. We saw Breon Pass go at it early, and now Forrest getting involved in the mix.
Yep.
I wonder if Forrest is listed at 6'3".
No.
Okay, I'm just checking.
Blake Forrest listed at 5'11".
Because we're not listing people at their actual heights nowadays. So
here's Middlebrooks. It rolls out for him.
Craig's going to get me on this one.
Blake Forrest had it swatted out by Middlebrooks. Third block shot for Ben Middlebrooks. And thankfully it gets us to a timeout. 2.5 to go in the ball game. NC State on the way to 4-0. Blake Forrest went to the basket. Nope. Another block from Middlebrooks. Back to Raleigh in a moment. Well, the defensive production tonight might also be the tail of the tape here, Corey.
Absolutely. When you look at the turnovers forced by NC State, 15 turnovers forced and it's 17 points, and that's what they do. That is the calling card of Kevin Keats and what he brought to Raleigh from UNC Wilmington 7 years ago. Now this in his 8th season, and he continues to be able to change with the times and with the lineup that he has. Of course, got away from that the last couple of years with DJ Burns in the lineup.
Yep.
Now going back to what got him here.
Middlebrooks and Wright, and a foul, I believe, on Wright. And that will get free throws at the other end. 4th on Sam Wright. And you see checking into the ball game. Here comes Paul McNeil. Well, we're going to have the first free throw first, I think, Paul. First one from Middlebrooks. Don't forget, we got women's basketball for you on ACC Network and the ESPN app. Friday night, 7 o'clock. Sunshine State rivalry, Florida State. Brooke Wyckoff and the Seminoles have won 7 of the last 8 against the Gators. 7 Eastern on ACC Network, streaming live on the ESPN app. 17 now tonight for Middlebrooks. Corey, he's perfect at the line, by the way.
And Middlebrooks has played very well tonight.
Yeah.
Kevin Keats has 2 great options at that 5 position. Looking forward to seeing those guys actually getting on the floor together.
Yep.
That he and Brandon Huntley have to.
Josh Ira into the ball game. Where's number 4 for Colgate? Here's Wright inside. Nice up and under move. Sam Wright's first or second field goal. He's got 4 points, both here in the second half. Well, I don't know the health status of Cox and Woodward tonight for the Raiders, but Colgate goes to Harvard on Friday night to play. Tommy Amaker's Crimson. And then in early December, they're going to go to Kentucky to play, by the way. As part of this non-conference schedule.
They're 7 straight games away from home.
Reach-in foul, I believe. And this is on Cooper Wright. So Matt Langle's team, there's a look. Harvard at Wilmington, Appalachian, Sam Houston State. Cornell, by the way, December 4th, and then the 11th at Kentucky.
Oh, you never like to see that.
Yeah.
Your 2 best players sitting at the crutch in between them. Not sure which one of them is on the crutch. But neither of those guys available in the second half. You see the tough test that Colgate has coming up. Hope to be able to get those guys healthy and back in the lineup.
Yeah. 19 now for Middlebrooks. 9 of 9 at the line, Corey, for Ben. And that ball got lost over the end line by Clark. Sam Wright is in the game, and so is Cooper Wright. Sam Wright, sophomore from Hoover, Alabama. Cooper Wright is a sophomore from Cambridge, Massachusetts in the Colgate order. And here comes Georgette Keats' favorite player. That's KJ, number 13, the coach's son. And also into the lineup, Jordan Snell, 6'2" junior from Cary, who checks in.
Who's also a coach's son.
That's correct. Right. Steve's on the bench with Kevin. So Dennis Parker Jr., Paul McNeil, that got blocked. Here's Jordan Snell. He's got KJ Keats and a lob for Dennis Parker. Kevin looks at Jordan like, what? Here is right, and he's bumped and fouled by K.J. Keats. K.J. played 15 games last year, or the last 2 years, last year rather, 3 of them against the ACC. And there's Jordan Snell. He's a third-year walk-on. He's played 16 games in the last 2 years. And the front end missed by Sam Wright. In the final minute. And Jordan Snell gets the offensive instruction.
I'm going to need Jordan or KJ. One of these guys got to get a shot up.
I'm not sure that was the instruction.
There it is.
There's KJ. Airballed it. Kevin, not happy. There's Forrest inside and lost over the inline by Stevie Clark. So we'll have one more Wolfpack possession with 27 seconds left.
Now, I don't believe they were going to take a shot on this one.
No.
Yeah, I think they're going to hold here. I think we're going to hold it on this one. If you see Coach Keats giving the sign. Bryce
Hurd will give it to Jordan Snell, and that'll do it. NC State's going to get to 4-0, headed for a Friday night game with William and Mary. Colgate going to fall to 1-3. And Corey, we talked about the depth and the scoring distribution at the top. I'm impressed tonight with NC State's depth and their stick-to-itiveness defensively.
Agreed with both those things, and also the fact that they're doing this without 2 guys who are going to be major players in their rotation, but a tough schedule upcoming for the Wolfpack. So Kevin Keats is going to need to get those guys healthy and get his full complement of players ready, because some tough tasks coming up for the Wolfpack here soon.
They force Colgate into a night where they shoot 33% from the floor. Colgate shot 32% in the second half. But Corey, a team that came into the ball game averaging 7 turnovers a game, had 16 tonight.
That's just a byproduct of the pressure that NC State puts on you. That's the way Kevin Keats wants to play. They've got a versatile lineup where he has 10 or 11 guys he can run out there at any time, not expecting anyone to play more than 25 minutes a game, but everyone to play extremely hard the entire time they're on the floor.
53rd non-conference win of the young season for the ACC. 2 other games on the books tonight, including Pitt, VMI, and Prairie View at SMU. Great to be with Corey Alexander, our statistician, John Bandry. Lucas Raycraft produced, Josh Monk directed tonight here from NC State. At the Lenovo Center, the Wolfpack goes to 4-0. 72-49 is the final. West Durham, good night from Raleigh on ACC Network.